Hey guys, remember to like the video and hit subscribe. And even in a civil case, that theoretically anything you say can show up. So sometimes people might admit to a crime or say things that could cause for further cause of action or whatever, right? So that's like the very obvious one. The second one was, what was my second one? Wait, why do you guys think you don't? I had a second one on my brain. The congestion tax was built anytime you cross below 60th Street to the Battery Park. It's causing more congestion above 60th. Is that true? I just had a Biden moment. Yeah, I'm sundowning. Me. There was a second one. I don't remember now. I guess it wasn't that intuitive. But the second thing that's at issue in this particular case is that Pixie made an unbelievably unhinged Substack. The problem was, while we were negotiating pre them filing anything, oh fuck, it's hard to say this without doing like the whole story. Oh no, there was a second intuitive one. I'm sorry, now that as I run through this, I remember. The second issue is that if you say a whole bunch of stuff publicly and you attack the other person, you make them less likely to want to actually settle anything, because part of the advantages of pretrial settlements are non-disclosure agreements, non-disparagement clauses, and these are things that you have as kind of like negotiating tools, basically. But if you blurb everything publicly and everything goes public, then it's like, okay, well, I mean, what's the incentive to settle anything, right? The third one was, the third issue was that the Substack that Andrea wrote was so unbelievably unhinged that the only possible way I would have agreed to settle anything would have been she had to retract like 80% of that. But the issue is that I don't know if there's any world where she ever would have been willing to, because it makes her look so bad. But I think the issue is that she maneuvered herself into like a totally unfuckable position where like the situation was just so screwed up that she's looking for me to try to settle something, but she's already inflicted maximum possible damage on me. So like they filed a lawsuit today, but it's like, okay, like all of these claims, actually worse than the claims in the lawsuit, have already been made publicly and alleged against me in her Substack. So I have little incentive to settle anything. She's put herself like in an impossible position where she can't like do anything because she would have to walk back from so much. And the issue is, so then getting into this, people are like, why didn't you say anything? Why haven't you said you're innocent, or why haven't you blah, blah, blah? The reason why I haven't said anything is because as soon as I start clarifying on my end, remember how we said in court, you can't introduce character evidence to attack a defendant, but you can introduce character evidence to attack somebody who's provided character evidence to defend themselves. The issue then is that for me to argue my side here would be just, it's going to be really, really, really rough on the other side. So if I start publicly explaining things, it destroys her ability to make any kind of salvageable public statement. And then so there's been like 3 phases of me basically not being able to chat about any of this. So the first phase was, obviously, I don't want to publicize the leaks because, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says in this, I am a victim in this. Unarguably, the largest victim. I was the target of this, and I've been the one the most horribly impacted. So, one, I don't want to publicize my own leaks, but also, out of respect for other people involved, I don't want to publicize their leaks, so I don't talk about any of it. The second part was her saying that she was literally suicidal, and that if her parents ever found out, she would kill herself. So, obviously, I don't want to talk about it then as well. And then the third part was for pre-trial stuff after she'd made her statement. Well, now if I start explaining my side of things, now she's in an even more like completely fucked position trying to make any sort of pretrial joint statement with me to settle anything. So the situation in terms of my ability to say anything prior to filing an actual complaint has been nada, because I'm either going to cause her to kill herself, okay, or I'm going to cause her to have to be so fucked for her litigation posture that now she'll either kill herself or whatever. I don't know. So this has been like the most irritating and annoying part about all of this, I think. There's like a lot of like specifics that we can dive into, but like I said, I made a, I don't know if you call it a manifesto. Probably shouldn't call it manifesto, because now everything I say is going to show up in either in a court doc or in trial, I guess. But I don't understand. Shouldn't you be focusing on self-survivability over her feelings? Kind of. So I'm trying to think of how to say this so that it doesn't sound like the worst thing ever. Like, in a way, our destinies are intertwined. Because let's say that I go... The issue is that in my mind, and who knows, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe some magical stuff will happen in court or whatever, and who knows. In my mind, the worst stuff for me was always the PR stuff. So after she made her Substack, at that point, like already, this is the maximum amount of damage that I can suffer. Like it's been a lot of reputational damage, a lot of direct financial harm, a lot of indirect financial harm, reputational harm, relationship harm, friendships, whatever. So at that point, what is the point of me clarifying anything publicly? Like, even if I have like the perfect statement, like there's already been irreparable harm suffered. Well, okay, let's say that I make a statement. Let's say that I clarify to the best of my ability everything on my end, but as a result of those clarifications, I destroy her character. And then let's say that the tides turn, and let's say overwhelmingly, or let's say the majority of people are like, yeah, okay, I think Stephen's position was a lot more fair here than what was being represented, and then she kills herself. Well, now I'm still fucked. Because now I'm like, okay, well, all right, yeah, okay, well, I'm not going to say much about that. Now I'm completely fucked, right? So I'm like as soon as people start like threatening suicide, now I'm like I'm boxed in and fucked like in every single area. I don't know how many of these are public yet. I've got screenshots of everything. Obviously, we'll see how much I can talk about, but like Andrea is literally having conversations where she's literally saying, depending on Stephen's response for this, I'll decide like if I have to go nuclear or not. And but don't worry, like I won't kill myself over the holidays because I don't want to make people's like holidays feel bad. And it's like, holy well, what the fuck? And then when the demand is $500,000 to $1 million, it's like, wait, what the fuck? And it's getting higher like every single time she talks to somebody. I'm like, wait, excuse me? This is because, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, isn't this extortion? I'm not going to say that because that would be a crime. And I'm still consulting with my lawyer on that. But you know, if you read the elements of it, it gets pretty close to it. And by close to it, I mean, yeah. But after she got a lawyer involved, and then we started negotiating back and forth. After we started going back and forth, her first demand letter to me was for a total apology. Hold on. She wanted a formal written apology for me, immediate cessation of the further disclosure and dissemination of images, which are all hosted on another website, by the way. And then reimbursement of legal fees, and then at least $15 million in compensation. That. This is a racket. This whole thing has been a racket. So now that it's filed, I guess we'll see what happens pre-trial. We'll see what happens if it goes to trial. In terms of like being allowed to share stuff or any of those claims, hopefully I can talk about that tomorrow, but those are going to get like, that's going to be ugly. but I'm waiting to see what my advice of counsel is in terms of saying anything about that. So yeah, that's all. That's where I'll be for now. And then hopefully tomorrow I can say more about it, but we'll see. But I mean, obviously, if we do go the full court route, then this is like 12 to 18 months potentially of whatever. So obviously I can't wait for, a year plus to make any statements about it. So to be fair, if something like this was leaked about me, I would be close to suicidal too. Yeah, that could be a thing. One of the toughest parts about this for me is I've had to piece together like so much from stuff that's like leaked from other people. Ordinarily, when I'm going to do like manifesto stuff, I guess, or when I'm writing up big stuff, usually I have access to a whole bunch of different people, a whole bunch of different logs, a whole bunch of different stuff, so I can like sort through and figure out, okay, well, what the happened? What's the story? But for this, obviously, ever since Andrea made her first like Substack, well, now I'm like public enemy number one. Nobody talks to me. Everybody's in like Gisticles, like Rehab Server or Kiwi Farms, and they're all spreading around like the most insane stories. So I have like literally 2 people I can talk to. So I can only go by other stuff that I see leaked. And I have an idea in my mind in terms of like, okay, well, what do I think is happening here? And I have like decently strong intuitions about what's happening. But then a few days ago, for the first time, I actually watched, because everything was so cringe, but I actually watched some of the videos that were posted about this. And I will say, I don't want to say it feels good. That sounds weird. But a lot of the intuitions that I had were way, 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 way more on the ball than I thought. And there are so many other logs that I wish I had access to. So like, for instance, because this is just insane. I can't, but I don't know what these full conversations are. But I saw like in one of these videos, for instance, that like Erin is saying she was threatening to kill herself to him. That's me, Steven. But she told me this wasn't serious. It was just to get his attention. Like when I see stuff like this, I'm like, okay, I understand what's going on here. There's a racket. I understand it. And I do feel very strongly about that. But who knows? We'll see, I guess, we'll see when we get further into this. This whole scenario has just been such an unbelievable mindfuck. Holy shit. Yeah, Jesus. But what was the unintuitive reason not to speak publicly? I already went over it. It's to give her flexibility to make a public statement. Retracting what she said and then making some kind of statement with me that kind of like maintains her reputation, because she has like perfect victim status. She's like, the way she's written her Substack is just, it's so much of it is untrue and so much of it is insane. But for me to give a counter to that Substack destroys her ability to make any like reasonable comments on it. So the goal is like, okay, well, I'm not going to say shit, so we can sit here and try to renegotiate some type of like pretrial settlement, which is what we're kind of working on. But then once she dropped that $15 million demand, and I'm like, excuse me? So as soon as she said that, I hired a second, more aggressive law firm. We had another call, and then her lawyer was like, something along the lines like, okay, wait. What about like, just make me an offer over 150K. I'm like, this is retarded. What the what is this right now? This is so stupid. And so, yeah, I don't know. And then I made my demand, and then after that, they stopped responding, it seems like. And so now I guess they're like, oh, let's just file a lawsuit. It's like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. Good times. Did you call Harvey Specter? No, I called Mike. What was your demand? I should wait for I want to get that whole statement approved. My demand was basically, I said, you can keep the bullshit you raised on the GoFundMe. I'll cover your legal fees, and then we have to make a statement where you walk back basically everything in that Substack, because that Substack was unhinged. But I told my law firm, I was like, I don't think there's any chance that, I think she's maneuvered into a position where she can't undo any of this. So yeah, I don't know. Probably a stupid question, but are you okay through all of this? No, I'm not okay. Okay, I don't feel okay. The amount of insane people who have contacted me, who have other people who've tried to extort me on things. I had some woman DM me and she's like, we said it a long time ago, like, if you don't give me $5,000, I'm gonna contact the Daily Wire and tell them this story. I'm like, what the I've had so many random crazy people. Yeah. Did you watch Willie's vid? No. Do you have a mini fest you're going to do if your legal team says yes? Yeah, basically. But I got to wait for their response, so. Can you leak your current lawyer costs? Yeah, it's just me pissing my money away, but I guess I can spend it on something. I've probably paid about $40,000 so far. Good times. Feels good. Is it for sure going to trial now? Who knows? Initially, I didn't think they would actually file an actual suit because for various reasons, the claims are all so stupid. But now, who knows? I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. I don't think I want to talk like specifically around like litigation strategy, just because I need to. Because we're probably still planning, right? This